everybody, and welcome back to Hennepin Kids Digital Sunday School. I'm super glad you're here with us again today. Let's get started the way that we always get started, with our candle. So I've got my lighter here, and I've got my candle, and we're going to light that as our reminder that God is with us all of the time, in the greatest of times, and sometimes even in the dark times. So let's push that away a little bit so it's not in my way. And then I would encourage you that if you are watching this and doing it as a family, that maybe you grab another family member and you give them a squeeze and you tell them that they are a blessing, that they are with you today, and that it's a blessing that we can all be together. Today, I want to talk about Mother's Day, because Mother's Day is coming up on Sunday. And in the United States these days, when we think about Mother's Day, a lot of the time we think about cards, and we think about maybe breakfast in bed for mom. But I started to wonder, how did Mother's Day begin? And why do we celebrate it at all? And what I learned is that Mother's Day is something that happens in lots of countries in the world, not just the United States. So, United States Mother's Day started after World War I. And there was a mom that decided that it would be great if all the moms got together and if they decided that they were going to pray for peace. And I thought that was a pretty cool way to celebrate mothers. Then I saw that in England, they do Mother's Day entirely differently, because Mother's Day has nothing to do with mothers in England. It has to do with your mother church and going back to your mother church to celebrate with the people who watched you grow up and to worship in the place that you worshiped at when you were a small child. So I grabbed something that I've had for a very long time. This is a plate that I got in 1994, which was the year that my husband and I got married. And it has a picture of my home church, or my mother church. And it says First United Methodist Church of Cedar Falls, Iowa. And that's where I grew up. So now I have a little activity for us to do, all right? What I want you to do is stop the video and go find something in your house that reminds you of Hennepin Avenue United Methodist Church, because that, for most of you, is your mother church. And special bonus points. If you can find something in your house with your mom or your dad that reminds them of their mother church, if it is not the same as your mother church, that's even cooler. So I'm going to do the same thing. You turn off the video, I'm going to turn off the video, and we'll come back and we'll see what we found, okay? That was fun. Did you see all of those Hennepin Kids t-shirts I have? I bet some of you have matching t-shirts just like that, don't you? And then I also found my Hennepin Avenue United Methodist Church mug, which is super fun. Now, huge bonus points to anybody who takes pictures of the things that you found that remind you of your church and sends them to me. Because you know, anytime you send me pictures, I'll put them in our newsletter to share with everyone. So we talked about how in the United States, Mother's Day started out as a way for moms to pray for peace. And we talked about how in England, Mother's Day is about returning to your mother church. In the United Methodist Church, we don't really call it Mother's Day. We call it something different. We call it the Festival of the Christian Home. And what I really like about that is it gives us the opportunity to honor not just the moms in our lives, but all of the special grown-ups in our life that are around to teach us about God and about Jesus and to help us with our faith. So you know what I did? I created a word cloud. And for some of our older kids that are pretty good on a computer, you could do this as well. So you just go to wordart.com, and that information is in your resources, and you just type in the shape that you like, and you type in the people who you feel like you think about the most when you think about those that have helped you learn about God and about Jesus, and you put them in order, and then it will come up with this great word cloud that you can then print. So my word cloud has my mom and dad as being the biggest, and then my grandpa and grandma were the second biggest, and then you'll see some names in here of people that you probably recognize, like Miss Loretta, who has been some of you guys' Sunday school teacher, and Miss Jan and Miss Kelsey, and Pastor Judy and Pastor Frenchie. All of these people, believe it or not, on a day-to-day basis, every single day still, even as a grown-up, they help me learn about my faith. So once again, I would encourage you to make your own word cloud about your faith people. And if you want to send it to me, as always, I love to see all of the things that you guys do as a family. So now what I want to do is I want to look in our Bible and learn about somebody who also is mentioned in the Bible about having friends and family that surrounded him as he was learning about his faith. And this is a little bit of the story of Timothy. So let's look in our Bible and learn a little bit about Timothy. So Timothy first learned about God and about Jesus from his grandmother. Her name was Lois, and from his mom, and her name was Eunice. And then later, Timothy became really good friends with the Apostle Paul. And Paul and Timothy traveled all over the country, and they taught other people about Jesus and about God. This is a story about when Timothy and Paul were not traveling together anymore because Paul was in jail and Timothy was in a different part of the country teaching people. So let's listen to what this talks about. Paul felt very lonely in prison. He thought about the trips he used to take with his good friend Timothy. Timothy is wonderful at teaching others about Jesus, thought Paul. He was young when we first traveled together. Now he's a pastor. I wonder how he's doing. Paul decided to write Timothy a letter. Dear Timothy, I love and miss you very much. You are in my prayers day and night. I wish we could see each other again. I remember when we first met, you were very young, but you had a strong faith. Your faith is a gift from God. Your grandmother Lois had faith. Your mother Eunice had faith. Now you have faith too. And then it asks us down here, who in your family has faith? And then Paul goes on to say, remember to tell other people stories about God so their faith can grow too. God was with us on our travels. God is with you in Ephesus, and God is with me in prison. Tell people God is always with us. Don't forget what we taught people when we were together. Jesus died and came back to life so we can live with God forever. This is good news. Everyone should hear it. Tell them. Remember, the Holy Spirit will help you. Love, Paul. So what are some of the ways that we can thank the people that are there for us every day and every night, teaching us about Jesus and helping us to grow in our faith? I have 3 ideas for you. The first one is a super easy thing, and it's right up here. And it's a question that you can ask those people that are a part of your life. And it just says, how was your day? Have you noticed that your parents probably ask you how your day was all the time? And sometimes you might go, it was fine. I didn't do anything today. But do you ever turn around and ask them how their day was? I bet that would make them feel very special. The second thing that I have up here now is it says, I love you. Now notice, it doesn't say, I love you too, because that's a lot of the time what happens is our special grown-ups, our parents and our grandparents, they say, I love you, and we say, I love you too. But what if you're the first one that says, I love you? What if just out of nowhere, you look at them and you say, hey, I love you? What if you did that? I bet that would help them feel very special as well. And then the third thing that I have, this one's a little bit harder to understand. It says, I know you do. And it goes back to that I love you thing, because I can almost guarantee you that your grown-ups, your parents and your grandparents and your special aunts and uncles and all of those people that tell you they love you, they tell you that because in their very most important part of their heart, they want you to know that you are growing up deeply loved. And so sometimes we say, I love you too, but if you look at them right in their eyeballs and you say, I know you do, that helps them feel like they are being successful in raising you in a way that you feel loved. So 3 super easy ways that you can talk to your mom or your dad or your other very special grown-ups and help them feel special. And those ways, once again, are to ask, how was your day? To tell them you love them. Be the first to tell them you love them. And then when they say, I love you, say, I know you do. And help them feel like they are raising you in a way that you know that you are deeply loved. So finally, the last thing that I have in our resources this week is a really fun parent quiz. So I would encourage your parents to print off the PDFs, and it's a really fun way for you to see how well you know your grown-ups in your life. So for example, do you know your mom's favorite food? Do you know what your dad does when your dad's not with you? Do you know how old your grandparents are? These are all fun questions to ask them and to get to know them just a little bit better. So I hope you enjoy those things. And if there's something that comes out of those conversations that you go, wow, this was really fun and funny, as always, I'd love to hear about it. Let's take a quick minute to pray. Holy God, we are so deeply blessed to have mothers in our lives that care for us so deeply, and to have all of the other grown-ups that love us and teach us about Jesus and teach us about God. Thank you for all of these people that help us grow in our faith. In your name we pray. Amen. Bye-bye, everybody. We'll see you next time, okay?